Hello, everyone. Welcome to these wonderful calls about what the body knows. After Christmas Eve, after Christmas, we're all at home, maybe, maybe not, and our bodies are like doing all sorts of things, and our bodies have done all sorts of things. And today we have these two wonderful guests. We have Chandana Bawa from India and Rachael O'Brien, and they're here with us to talk about what do bodies know. Thank
Mm.
you for being here. Thank you for bringing your body with you. Thank you for being this contribution to us, to the world, to our bodies, to the planet. And we would love to hear what you have to say about what bodies know.
Chananda, will I go? So I'm not sure if Chandana is frozen. I'll go. So one of the things that when I first came to my first Access Consciousness event, the first time I ever came to get my bars run, bars is a beautiful therapy that allows you to get connected to your body. Now I'm on my own. How does it get any better than this? And so I was living from my mind. I would say, "Yay, you're back. Welcome back, darling." I was living from my mind for, I would say, 42 years, probably not as a kid. And so the first time that I got my bars run, I had this sense of being aware of my body again and the kindness that bodies can be, and even receiving the kindness that other people's bodies are. And so, if you're out there and you are completely disconnected from your body, you're spinning around in your head, it's Christmas time and there's projections and expectations, just ask your body right now in this 10 seconds, what do you know? And our bodies show us what they're aware of, but very few of us have been educated. Yeah, I'm going to use the word educated. Very few of us have been educated to be aware, and this is something that we talk about in the 3-day body class, as Chandana knows too, uh, is they give us information from what's going on in the bodies around us and what's going on in the world around us, but nobody has ever educated us about being aware and being sensitive to the energies that are going on around you in the world. And so my favorite body question is this mine for any feelings, for any emotion, for any stress? Return to center of consciousness attached. And then body, what do you know? What do you know about the earth? What do you know about the trees? What do you know about consciousness? And so our bodies are part of energy, space, and consciousness. We are actually part of energy, space, and consciousness, but there's been so many points of views layered and impeded on our bodies, and we inherit these points of views genetically as well, that we can forget what our body knows. And that's the beauty of asking a question. Hmm.
I loved how you just put it all together so beautifully, Rachel.
Thank
I mean, our body is really this magnanimous organism that senses everything that's going on around
you.
it.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
perceives everything. It perceives the good, the bad. It perceives the past, the present, and the future. There's really no separation from what it's aware of. It just receives the awareness. And it's like your body doesn't judge the awareness, but your body shows up as the judgment that you have of the awareness. So if your body's aware of something and your body's like just aware of probably somebody else's body that has a physical probably intensity or some kind of insanity going on in their world, and your body can just literally give you the information that, hey, this energy is around you, you got to be aware of this, and that's where you actually want to go into question. But like Rachel said, no one really educated us about that. So what we do is we go to, oh, this is mine, and now, how do I fix it? Because what we were always told was, what we were taught, what we were educated to do was to solve a problem. And the faster you solved a problem and the faster you found the problem, the more successful you were. So we literally go to looking for what is wrong with our body and trying to fix it instead of just simply going to a question like, hey, who does this belong to? What is this? What can I do with this? Can I change it? How can I change it? I mean, I find these 4 questions so miraculous. And, there are times when even after facilitating classes and getting body processes run and, using the tools, my body still goes into intensity and, it gives me information about what's really going on in my world in that moment. And if I'm really willing to be present with it, and there are still moments when I kind of go into, oh, what is this? This is so painful. I can't change this. Oh, I go into that crazy kind of frenzy. And that's when I reach out to somebody and then I get these 4 questions like, oh, did you ask what is this? Oh no, I just concluded it's mine. So
And that's
I think just there's that little, it's like, it's such a fine line. It's thinner than a hair. It's such a thin line that, you can either be really present with it and ask a question, or you can literally go into making it yours.
Mm, mm. I love that. Those 4 questions that Chandana is talking about, Chandana is talking about, is what is this? And sometimes I love when you said I had a conclusion. What is this? Have I a presumptive reality here? Presumptive reality is when you presume something to be real and true, and it's not real and true at all. You've just bought it as real and true. Oh, because I can feel pain. The moment you say feel, then you own that and you're possessed by that pain instead of, hang on a second, I can perceive pain. For me, that was the tool that changed my life the most. And my experience of having a body is, what is this? What am I perceiving? What is this? What do I do with it? Can I change it? If so, how can I change it? What is this? Oh, I have a presumptive reality. This is mine. What can I do with it? Pot and pocket. That's the access consciousness clearing statement. Everywhere I bought it as mine, everywhere I sold it to myself, And for me, so funny, we buy energies as us that aren't us at all. And one of the reasons that I came to Access Consciousness is I was suffering from depression. And after getting my bars run and getting to an Access Consciousness Foundation and a 3-day body class, I recognized that I became aware of this energy when I was about 5 years of age. And it wasn't my body at all. I was looking to take it away from my mother. And so a lot of people that, I'm sure you have this as well, Chandana, a lot of people that we meet that come to classes, they genuinely have solidified an energy of pain or depression or sadness or something that's very familiar energy in their culture. It could be lack or scarcity. And what is this? What can I do with it? Can I change it? If so, how can I change it? You're in a finite point of view if you have the point of view that you cannot change something, whereas bodies function so much greater when we're in communion with infinite being. And so for me, one of my favorite tools is introducing space. You talked about that intensity of pain. Anytime that I will have an intensity of pain, or I had like this earache the other day, and what did my body know? I'm someone who's very spirit sensitive, and I was actually aware of an entity. And so our bodies have all this awareness. You said it, through past, present, and future. And if we don't ask questions in regard to, what do you know, body? Okay, let's go to infinite space. And even you can play with this while you're on with us right now. You can just close your eyes or leave them open, and you can just expand out. Your body knows expansion, your body knows space. And when you expand out, you can even get the energy of a tree or the ocean or flowers or a lake. And I have found with me, the more space I have, the more being I have, the more relaxation and the better that my body does. My body knows space, my body knows consciousness, and it does much better when I'm in communion with that infinite space.
So, wow, there's such a conversation that, we can be with bodies, and we can tap into the spaces that our bodies be with, not just with who we be, but with everybody around us. From the age of 29, you talked about depression, Rachel. From the age of 29, I suffered from something called fibromyalgia, which is like a muscular um, autoimmune disease. And from the age of 29 to the age of 47, when I got introduced to Access, and I had been on, steroids and cortisones and injections and a whole lot of, stuff. And nothing really, it did help momentarily. It kind
Yeah.
of just, decreased it. And I was able to finish my basic chores in the house, but nothing really cured it. And
Yeah.
for 90 years to have that excruciating pain when, my kids were little, my daughter was all of 3, taking her to school was difficult. Doing the basic day-to-day stuff at home was so hard. And it was only when I got introduced to
I didn't know
Access.
this. I
Yeah,
actually didn't know.
yeah,
And I've known Shandana for years. I actually didn't know. And I've seen you like walk through classes. I've seen you dance.
yeah,
So
yeah.
this is the miracle of what bodies know beyond, what could be called the problem.
Yeah. Oh, balloons.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know this.
absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
wild that you went from literally going through your day with pain and that transforming. Wow.
And the transformation was in 6 months, where I was actually off all medication. I am on no medication right now. And I've taken so much of medication because something like fibromyalgia really has no cure, quote
No.
unquote, in the medical
Yeah.
world. But so the doctors would give me anti-anxiety, they would give me anti-depression, they would give me cortisons and steroid injections, but there was no cure. But so when I actually went off the medications that I was on for so many years, literally by asking my body that, show me, when are you ready to give it up? And, my body did it so gradually and with so much of ease. It was like, every few weeks, I would bring it down I was on 100 milligram, which is like the highest milligram of that particular medicine. And from 100 milligram, it came down to 90, from 90 to 80. And it was so gradual and it was so slow. And then a certain day when I would have like this immense pain, and automatically I'd go to, oh, I need to take my medication. And then I would stop and be like, okay, body, what do you want me to know? And most of the time it would be like, get your bars run, go get an MTVS's body process, go and get a facelift. And, I would just ring up somebody and say, hey, can I ask you for a session, please? And, I would get the body process run. And it was about 6 months where I just followed this entire process. And one day I looked at my medication and I was like, wow, I'm down to 10 milligrams. It's been a miracle for me. So for me, bodies are this beautiful organism that's giving you information. And if you do not receive the information, it's just going to get louder. I
Totally.
wasn't listening. Yeah, I wasn't hearing the information my body was giving me, the awareness it was giving me. It used to give me awareness of earthquakes around the world. And I'd be like, I have pain, I have a headache, I have a headache. And the minute there was an earthquake, maybe after a day or maybe the same day, the pain was gone. But I never really asked if there
Connected.
was
Yeah.
you never connected it. It was only Gary when he asked me, hey, do you have capacity with awareness of earthquakes around the world? And I was like, it makes no sense to me, but the answer is yes. And since then, I don't get that excruciating pain anymore, just with the acknowledgement.
It's so beautiful and it's so interesting that you said this. We all know that animals, like during the tsunami, that big tsunami, all the animals went up to the mountains. They came away from the sea. And so animals have this sense of future and what's going to occur with the earth. And so our bodies also have this. And so many of us have been trained into, in Access, we talk about thinking, and thinking being the lower harmonics of knowing. And I know for me, the moment that I'm looking to think, it never gives me anything greater, you know? And the moment that I ask, what do I know here? The moment that I'm willing to ask, what do I know here? That opens the door to things immediately becoming greater. Like even the smallest things, you know, three of my kids are in Canada at the moment, and I know exactly when to call them. I'll know without
Yeah.
having to check like the time differences, you know, or I'll know exactly. Years ago, you said about being aware of the earth and our bodies really being aware of the earth. Years ago, I was teaching a foundation class in New York. That's one of the Access Consciousness foundation classes. It's phenomenal. We both have taken foundation many times. I highly recommend it. And there's beautiful body work in that as well. MTVSS, Chandana mentioned, and it's to support your body and it's to boost your immune system anywhere that there's a malfunction. And I remember looking at my flights. I was going to visit my sister who's living in North Carolina, and I got to go a day early. And the next day, none of the flights were coming out of New York. And so I missed the snow. And it's just wild just by asking a question. Do I require to travel now? Yes. Okay. And so our bodies are so aware of all of this information. And not only that, one of the things that I see with people that either are facilitators or have come to a 3-day body class with me is their body has a massive ability to give the planet or earth energy. And so this is one of the things that's wild. We do this 1, 2, 3 in Access 1, 2, 3, and it's gifting the earth your energy. And a friend of mine, Max Zulik, hey Max, if you're watching, we love you. We both know Max really well. And he was telling me that he would do 1, 2, 3s like many times a day. Our bodies are so aware of the earth, and they're also aware when countries or areas on the earth require contribution. They actually require energy and contribution from us. And this to me was, I'm so grateful that you brought it up. The question is, if you have any pain in your body, what am I perceiving and what can I contribute to and where can I go to balance the earth? And this is our bodies know what the earth requires. And we walk around. I was in in the UK, there's these places called National Trust. And the National Trust are all buildings that were built 1500s, 1600s, 1700s. And when times changed, the families handed the buildings over, beautiful houses and grounds, they handed them over to the UK government. And I was in one of them today, and the energy and the space there, like the trees, the open spaces, our bodies know. We perceive. What am I perceiving here? What do I know about this earth? I walked through the house that was built in 1740. Hey body, what do you know about this space? You said a few times, you said once, apologies. We also sense other timelines. The house bled time, we can sense the people who lived in that house. And if you're in feeling instead of perceiving, then you'll be aware of all these energies and you'll buy them as yours instead of acknowledging, yes, I'm aware.
Just that acknowledgement is all that your body is asking for. It's, it's a rejection of the information, it's a rejection of the
Yeah.
communication your body's being with you that actually shows up as what we call pain. I mean, that's what I actually recognize. My body had been giving me so much information about, like you spoke about the spirit world. When your body is so aware, you can't really go to you can't be that energy of I want to be aware of the good stuff and not the bad.
No.
Or this is the good stuff, so I'll be aware of this, and this is the bad stuff, so I won't be aware of this. Your body's going to give you information about
Yeah.
everything. And if the thing is that the more you are willing to receive and to acknowledge your awareness of the body, the more you also want to step into allowance with the awareness. Because if your body's changing, and your body's constantly mutating and shifting and giving you this information of what's going on around it. But if you have, like we talked about it, that if you're not willing to be the allowance, and you're not willing to receive the information with just the energy of interesting point of view, and without the need to do something with the information, you're actually going to find yourself sticking yourself with that information, which
Yeah.
actually then starts to show up as some kind of solidity in some part of your body, where you'll probably look at it and be like, oh, I have pain here, or I have this disease, or and like Rachel was talking so beautifully about the feelings, and when we, and the thoughts and the emotions that we lock into our body. But when we lock the feelings and the thoughts and the emotions into our body, we start to vibrate at this level that actually you begin to invite everything that vibrates at the lower harmonics, which is the pain and the suffering and the diseases, and all the angst and the anxiety that's around you, instead of vibrating at the upper harmonics of knowing, being, perceiving, and receiving. Because yes, your being knows, your being does know, be, perceive, and receive. Your body also has that capacity. So if you're willing to actually be in communion with that, and if you actually play with your body and ask your body, hey body, what do you know about this? Like, body, what's going on? Like, if you could really, if you could just say hi to your body every morning and be like, hey body, can you show me where can we go today? Body, can you show me what's really going on here? Instead of trying to analyze things and think and understand, if you could just ask your body to give you information about, hey, body, what's really going on here? You'd be surprised at what your body can then show you.
You said something, you talked about receiving, and in Access we have a tool, what's light is true for you and what's heavy is a lie. And one of the places that I massively stuck myself was not receiving information. I had sometimes we develop some weird coping mechanisms in not receiving information and not being present. And one of the things that I found for me is what's heavy is a lie. Anytime that I'm resisting, you said it a few times, anytime that I'm resisting receiving information, or anytime that I'm buying a lie, I'll have that like heaviness or, back pain. And so you can start to ask, what information am I receiving? And am I filtering it through judgment? And remember, judgment is always a fixed point of view that something, it has to be a certain way. Judgment is always a right or a wrong or a good or a bad. And when you're judging, actually there is no communion with your body, because we talk about projections. A projection is, this is the way you should look, body. An expectation is, and this is the way that you should function, and now I'll separate from you and I'll create a judgment and reject you, instead of waking up and you can clear all these projections, expectations, separations, judgments, and rejections. It would be very blind of me, of myself, it would be a blindness to come on to a call where we talk about what your body know and not acknowledge that we live in a world where the dominant energy right now with having a body is judgment. This is how I should look. This is how, whatever, this is how my boobs should be. This is how my lips should be. This is how my nose should be. This is what it shouldn't be. And every single judgment actually creates a destruction on a cellular level. Like, this is not woo woo, this is science now. Every single judgment actually destroys the capacities of your cell and of your systems within the body, your organs. And so what's beyond that is what Chananda said, waking up and being like, hi, body. And I don't know if this occurs for you. I got my nails done last week and I had this like tiny little cut, like the tiniest little cut here. And it was so sore. And I'm playing with my finger like this, being like, I don't even notice that everything works so well, that my liver works so well, that my kidneys work so well, that my spleen works so well, that all my nails work so well, and I have this tiny little like cut. And then it's like, ow, but I don't like how often do we say, I'm so grateful for my blood flowing through my veins and my arteries and my heart pumping, and I'm so grateful that my like surgeons considering the knee one of the most complex workings of body structure. I'm so grateful that I can bend down to pick something up. We forget judgment seems to disconnect us from, not seems to, judgment disconnects us from gratitude. And every judgment is a conclusion. But what if every moment could be the beginning of you receiving your body, receiving what you're aware of?
Every moment could be you receiving your body.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
how different would the world be? Because that would mean each one of us would be really present with knowing that we have a body. We don't even acknowledge we have a body. We walk around like we're just a piece of flesh instead of, really looking at that body and just acknowledging our body. And something I think in one of the Talk to the Entities classes, Shannon mentioned that you acknowledging that you have a body also comes from acknowledging the entities that do not have a body,
Mm.
and you acknowledging that they don't have a body and you having a body is true embodiment,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right?
I,
Yeah.
and I love what you said. Sometimes I'll sit down and have a cup of tea, and I'll trip out on, can you imagine if we lived in a world where everyone was happy and they liked their bodies? Like,
Yeah.
can you
Yeah.
imagine? Like, and they knew that their bodies couldn't, I forgot about this earlier, I was going to say this, that their bodies couldn't live without the trees, like the oxygen for their lungs. Can you imagine if every person was grateful for their bodies and they liked having a body? How different our planet would be in a conscious world.
How different. I mean, how different would everybody be? Where right now, when you look at social media and you look at Instagram and you look at, you read magazines or whatever, they're literally like cloning one another. This is the right body, this is the right shape, this is the right size, this is the right hair, this is the right whatever. Now you have 100 clones around them who trying to look like one, who try to look like something. But all of that is what takes you away from, it gets you to separate from who you be. Because who you be, your body is your first creation. You created your body. So when you actually came to this planet, you created this beautiful body. And then you start to try to fix it and try to get it to look like somebody else's body, which is such a form of abuse and such a form of, of literally rejecting your very first creation.
Totally.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Thank you. What an incredible call. I continue, my body is like so grateful, so expanded. So it's incredible to see how also we can allow ourselves to be surprised, how we can allow our bodies to be surprised. And I love Rachel when we're like, oh my God, I didn't know that. And that, you
Yeah,
know,
I was
or
like,
just this exploration and this invitation that you guys have been for me, for everyone that is watching this, and for the whole world and the entire planet Earth, to really be grateful for the body we have, be
yeah.
grateful for the bodies that are around us, and be grateful for the planet we live in. Ladies, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that awesomeness that you both are.
Oh, it's a
Thank
pleasure to
you,
be here.
sweetheart.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank
And
you. Thank you for these conversations and for bringing on all these, these amazing facilitators from all around the world. And I think just the energy that gets created with talking about and just, literally talking about bodies. It's, yeah, right, Rachel? It's like, yeah,
Yes,
that's.
that's oh. Thank you. If you want to know more about Rachel, Chandana, their travel around the world with 3-day body classes, with other access classes, and with their beautiful bodies, inviting your body to be. Thank you, guys.
Oh, you're so
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed this conversation.
Me
Thank you,
too.
Rachel. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you, everyone. Bye.